Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to find the area of a rectangle. So what I have here is just a regular sheet of paper. I actually folded it back this inch, and we're going to measure this. And when we're thinking about area, we're going to factor in how much space is on the inside. So we have the perimeter on the outside. I want to know how much space is on the inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this up to the board, and we'll measure that with the ruler I have. Okay, so as we get this taped up, in order to find the area of a rectangle, all you need to do is multiply the base by the height. That's all. So if we were to do this, I take out my ruler, all I'm going to do is measure this up. We'll do it in inches. I want to make sure that it's on the 0, and it measures all the way to the 11. So this paper is 11 inches. I'll use IN. And as I said, I folded it back. This is a regular sheet of paper. So make sure the 0 is lined up, and we have 8 inches here as well. Now, this is our base, and this is our height. In order to find the area of a rectangle, all you have to do is multiply the base times the height. So, area is going to equal base times height. So if we were to put this into numbers, the base is 11. We multiply that by the height, which is 8. And we're going to be left with 88. Now, our label's very important. I always joke with the kids, is it 88 lobsters? Is it 88 crayons? What are we talking about exactly? Well, it's 88 inches squared, because when we think about this, when we're measuring the inch, we're just measuring this way. We're measuring the width of it. But if we're also measuring up, and if I were to divide these into little sections, you would notice that there are lots of little squares in here. As a matter of fact, when you find that area, you would count out 88 entire squares within this purple sheet of paper. So you always want to label area of a rectangle in inches squared. If you're measuring in centimeters, it'd be centimeters squared. If you were measuring in miles, it'd be square miles, so on and so forth. So that's how you find the area of a rectangle, just base times height. But let's say we're going to make this just a little bit different. Let's say that this was a scale drawing like you'd see on a map. And let's say that each inch, 1 inch, would actually equal, well, let's say 20 miles. This is going to mix it up just a little bit. So if every inch represented 20 miles, well, now we're going to have to use our multiplication facts a little bit more. So area of our base, well, 20 miles, for every inch I have 11 inches, so I'm going to do 20 times 11. Well, 20 times 10 is 200. 20 times 1 is 20, so we have 220. Our base would be 220 miles. And then if 1 inch is 20 miles, then 8 inches, we're just going to do 8 times 20. That's going to be 160 miles. Now, when we find the area, we're going to multiply these two by each other. And here's where we're going to use our partial products again. So 220 times 160. And here we go. 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 60 times 0 is 0. 60 times 20 is 1,200. 60 times 200 is 12,000. And then we have 100 times 0. 100 times 20 is 2,000. And 100 times 200 will give us 20,000. Now, if you're using a big number like this, probably be okay to use a calculator if there's one at your discretion. We'll notice we have zeros here. 0, 0, 0, 0 is 0. 2, 0, 0, and 0 is 2. 1, 2, 2 and 0 is 5. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So, if this was a scale drawing, 1 inch equals 10 or 20 miles. This would represent 35,200 miles squared. 35,200 miles squared. Because again, we're using numbers of squares on the inside of this. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult. Let's bring it back just a little bit easier. We'll use a number that's maybe a little bit easier to multiply. And let's just say that 1 inch, for every inch equals, we'll try 3, let's try centimeters. And, you know, just throwing around different numbers. And so we'll say, well, 1 inch is 3 centimeters, so 11 would be 11 times 3. So our base would be 33 centimeters. And remember, that's just the distance. It's not the area, it's just how long it is. Well, we have 8 inches, so it'd be 8 times 3 is 24. So now we have 24 centimeters multiplied by 33 centimeters. Again, to find the area. Now, here's what you could do just to make sure you have good practice. We're talking about centimeters times centimeters, so it is centimeters squared. And now, again, we can use our partial products. This might be one a little bit quicker that you can do. Might not need to find a calculator. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 30 is 120. 20 times 3 is 60. And 20 times 30 is 600. Add this up. 2, 9, and 7. So a total is 792 centimeters squared. Now I wanted to throw in the scale drawing just because you might take your multiplication facts a little bit farther. Also, you'll see this in the real world anytime you look at a map. But in order to find the area of a rectangle, all you have to do is measure the base and the height, multiply it, and that's going to give you the area. And always remember that you want to do the miles squared, or the area would be feet squared or square miles. Okay. When you come back, I'm going to show you how to find the area of a parallelogram. It's very similar to area of a rectangle, but we'll use that information to continue adding our mathematical knowledge.